The Department of Public Health and Human Services is pleased to bring you Aging Horizons. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, fraud, legal issues, veterans benefits, and caregiving. Aging Horizons is a program dedicated to inform and prepare Montanans on these timely issues, making a difference to you and your loved ones. Here now is today's program host.
Hi folks, and welcome to Aging Horizons. Today we're talking about fire. It's probably all around us, and certainly smoke is. We'll be talking about the importance of preparing for fire and other disasters well before they happen. We'll be talking about mitigation, how to prepare your property, understand what's at risk on your property, and how to help reduce that. And we'll talk about evacuations. It can happen. Stay tuned.
Can you say ombudsman?
Ombudsman. Ombudsman?
Uma Doodlesman? Fortunately, you don't have to say it right to get the help of a long-term care ombudsman. If you or a loved one reside in assisted living or long-term care, an ombudsman can help resolve any issue. And these services are completely free and confidential. Now, why don't you try that again?
Ombudsman.
Did you just text me?
I didn't want to disturb you if you were sleeping.
Sleeping? I'm sitting right next to you, silly.
There you are. Hey, I found a couple of Medicare helping programs online that I think we ought to look into.
It says if we qualify, we can get help paying for our prescription drugs. Oh, and there's a program that can help pay our Part B premium.
To learn more about extra help and Medicare savings programs, call your local SHIP counselor today.
Maybe I better text him.
You've probably seen some big-name celebrities on your TV lately talking about all the Medicare benefits you're missing out on. But the insurance companies who are paying for these ads may be pushing benefits not available in Montana. Fortunately, help is available from a friendly state health insurance assistance program counselor who can help you sort it all out. It's free, and we screen everyone for eligibility regardless of your zip code. It's Montanans helping Montanans. Call today.
A message from Fire Safe Montana. It has been indicated that Montana is headed towards a significant wildland fire season. Now is the time for you and your community to begin your fuel mitigation efforts. Neighborhood meetings, fuel mitigation around your property, planning escape routes, practicing the route. Right now is the time for action. Your local emergency management agency can be contacted for more information. This message brought to you by Fire Safe Montana and aired by the Montana Broadcasters Association.
Hi folks, and welcome to Aging Horizons, brought to you by the Department of Public Health and Human Services Senior and Long-Term Care Division. I'm your host, Brian Lamore. I mentioned earlier we're talking about fire. That's probably happening all around us because it is the fire season. So we have two individuals who are experts at preventing and mitigating fire. We have Pat McKelvey, you're with the Tri-County Firewise, and
Fire Safe, Montana Fire Safe.
That's right. And Rocky Infanger, you're with the Wolf Creek Fire Department and with the Tri-County Fire Safe. Rocky, let's start with you. Evacuations, it's so important. We've been hearing about those things all year about need to be prepared. A lot of people don't even think about it, do they?
That's correct, Brian. We wait till the last minute too often, and it can be disastrous. We need to be prepared for that. We need to practice that. And what I'm going to do is discuss how we can kind of break that into 4 different parts.
Great.
One is, have you registered for emergency notifications? Depending on the county you're from, the best way to do that is contact your county DES or possibly county sheriff, fire warden. Figure out how to do that. Those are local alerts based on your county. A lot of people say, I'm signed up, I get the missing person one. Those are a different alert system. It may be effective, but sign up locally with your local county if they have that, and you will get local alerts based on whatever that emergency may be. The other thing is, do you have a plan? What are you going to do if you hear you have to evacuate? Do you have a plan? Do you have a meeting place? If you're in town, husband or wife, the other one is at home, do you have a place you're going to meet that you've pre-designated? Could be a grocery store parking lot, wherever that may be. Whatever works for you, have that location. that you both know that that's where I'll find the other one in the event of emergency. You run into town to go shopping one day, you might not be going home. They may have closed that area due to an evacuation. You won't be getting back home. So having that area, it could be a family member's house. It doesn't matter. As long as your family know where that meeting location is, it can help bring things back together. Knowing your routes. Do you know your routes out? Do you have more than one? Some places are limited, one way in, one way out. When you have long driveways or escape routes, and a lot of homes leaving all at the same time, that can get very interesting. And, you know, they've had that before in different places where everybody's waited till the last minute and everybody's tried to get out. All you need is one car to break down or something to happen, and everything comes to a standstill. And so, which leads me to the part of leaving early. You don't necessarily have to wait to be told to evacuate. If you're not feeling comfortable, maybe it's time to leave early before the big rush and stampede that may take place. Knowing those routes, have you practiced those routes? If you're new to the area, maybe at night go drive that route, because you more than likely could be evacuating in a night scenario with smoke, difficult to see things. Once you practice that stuff, like everything else, it kind of is a muscle memory type thing, may be beneficial to you. The other thing is having go bags. Are you prepared? Do you have some of your stuff ready to go at a moment's notice? What I've been telling people is go through your house, stuff that you could grab and go. Other times you may get an evacuation warning or something where you're given a couple hours. Maybe you ought to walk through your house and prioritize based on time what is more important than others. I have 15 minutes, I'm grabbing the go bag. I have an hour, I could maybe do this or maybe do that. But again, once you do that and prioritize that, it'll be a lot easier in the heat of the moment. One other thing I've been talking about is if you run to town shopping and you live out in the country and you run to town shopping, probably not taking the go bag. The go bag maybe you should have a basic change of clothes or something just in your vehicle all the time. Could be winter. But during the summer, you may run into town for a dozen eggs. You may not be going back home. So being prepared for all of that stuff ahead of time. But I would really focus on getting registered for alert system, paying attention to the weather, keeping track of what's going on in your surroundings. It's so important. You know, you can't live with your head in the sand. Suddenly something happens and you panic because you're not. If you practice these things, go through them, have checklists or whatever it may be, it can make life a lot easier.
Plan ahead,
yes.
Right? Well, now you have a brochure there, or a pamphlet that's available to people. Hold that up and tell people how they can get it.
So this was developed for the Tri-County area, Lewis and Clark, Jefferson, and Broadwater counties. You could utilize it for anywhere. It has a lot of good information on the back. It has some different phone numbers. This particular one has some of the local jurisdictions around here. It can be adapted. More than happy if people want to borrow any of this stuff to utilize it for theirs. Talks about developing that plan, having kits, neighborhood networks.
So basically it covers everything that you spoke about,
yes,
and so much more, right?
Yep. And the other thing is, you know, we rely on radio and television a lot for notification and stuff. Power companies are starting to look into this PSPS, Public Safety Power Shutoff, due to certain thresholds. You may not have power. That may have got shut off earlier. So consider a backup source of power too, or not backup source of power, but a backup means of getting some type of alerts and charging cell phones if you're relying on cell phones.
And to contact family members. Well, we've
Yes.
quickly drawn to a close on this segment, but we got a lot more great information. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Elder abuse is a growing problem, and it's happening right here in our Montana communities. At least 1 in 10 older adults are victims of physical or emotional abuse, financial exploitation, or neglect. To get help or report elder abuse, call your local area agency on aging or Adult Protective Services at 1-844-277-9300.
Every 65 seconds, someone is affected with Alzheimer's or other dementias. Many become isolated at a time when help is most needed. If you or someone you love is affected, help is available, both for people with memory loss and their caregivers. Memory loss can feel frightening, but you are not alone. Call the free 24/7 Alzheimer's Association helpline, 800-272-3900, for guidance and support.
A message from Fire Safe Montana. A process called wildfire scoring may be used to determine the insurability of your property. Your home may be insurable today, but it might not be in the future. If building a new home, check with your insurance agent to determine if they will insure it, how that score was determined, and what the cost will be. And remember, wildfires can happen inside the city limits. This message brought to you by Fire Safe Montana and aired by the Montana Broadcasters Association.
When I found out it was diabetes, my first thought was, Barb, you need help. You have to take control of this. There is help. My doctor gave me a phone number. I called and signed up with a diabetes educator. There is help. I have to put blinders on when I walk past the bakery counter. I can feel my blood sugar go up. You succeed a little at a time. If you have diabetes, help is available. You do not have to do it alone.
Ask your doctor about diabetes education or visit montana211.org.
Welcome back to Aging Horizons. I'm your host, Brian Lamore, and we're talking about fire and smoke mitigation and preparation in Montana. There's a number of brochures that we have out there that you can access quite easily, and both these individuals will be talking about that later in the show. But it's important to be informed and aware. I mean, get some of these pamphlets, go to the website we'll have on screen later on, and get this information because we're right in fire season, and well, fire season's year-round now. We have Pat McKelvey. You're with Fire Safe Montana, and Rocky Hemfanger. You're with the Tri-County Fire Safe Working Group. And Pat, let's start with you. You know, we're talking about the importance of mitigation, preventing disasters, fires, whatever in the first place. And a lot of people don't think about that, do they? But where do they start?
Well, keep in mind, those things are going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's not preventing, but it's changing how we're reacting to it and what the results of something might be. In this case, you know, we talk about the fuel hazard reduction and fire. We certainly we don't say prevention, we say mitigation, and that's the reason. And it's proper forest management. We've got a lot of new residents coming into Montana. They're living, you know, out in the forest. They like that. They love their trees. They come here for part of that's the reason.
Yes.
And the range is the same way. Doesn't matter if it's just trees because rapid moving fires happen in grass as well.
Yeah.
And we have an experience in Montana with a lot of home loss in both situations. I know Rocky's been on fires out in the grasslands that have taken a lot of homes and commercial buildings, etc. So it's something that we always and we have been preaching for quite some time.
Yes.
When you look at you're doing an assessment of your property, okay, walking around looking at what you're seeing, and we have in this book, one of our publications, it's available on our website, as you said, zones and the difference of distance from the structure. And don't forget, we start with the structure and ignition resistant construction or modification of your existing construction to make it mitigated and less subject to fire. So you look at vents, for example. We used to always say, quarter inch or more, venting, grills, kinds of things. Mm-hmm. Now we're saying 1/8 inch, based on history in California and seeing that those embers can still penetrate something smaller than a 1/4 inch. So we went now to the 1/8 inch size of the grill. And these are available at your construction supplier, wherever you go, lumber yards or whatever. We look at the decking, of course. We always talk about that. Don't store your firewood underneath your deck, please. I know it's handy. You can get at it in the wintertime, but maybe you don't need it there in July.
Yeah, right.
We'll get that away. And then that immediate zone. What's there for vegetation? Is it junipers? Oh, if it is, we want you to remove that. A good example of that is if you go and look at a juniper plant. I'm talking about the horizontal juniper. Yeah. Peel those branches back, and you're going to find a lot of dead, accumulated needles. Yeah. You might even find a McDonald's wrapper from a hamburger that blew in there. They catch everything. Yes. And that's a very, very easy place for a fire to get started. Mm-hmm. An ember shower hits that, boom, and off we go. So keep those, if you're going to have juniper, keep them away, 30 feet away from the structure. Uh-huh. Trees, we think of people, I say this all the time, when I am out looking, or used to, and Rocky still is doing assessments, as you're looking through the trees, what do you want to see? Well, everybody wants to see their trees. That's why they bought forested property, right? Yeah. But if you tell them to think about a set of bowling pins, where you're looking through there and you see those bowling pins, mm-hmm. but if you look from the top down, you see the spacing is even each direction in the triangular shape. Yeah. So if people think about trees that way, they can still sit on their deck, have their coffee, look through their trees, but you can have a 20-foot crown-to-crown spacing in that orientation, like I've just talked about. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're looking for. We're not looking for a forest that is gone. Yeah, right, yeah. We're looking for a forest that's managed. Yeah. And there is a responsibility for the landowner to manage that if they do in fact have a forested piece of ground that they bought, mm-hmm. or several acres. Yeah. The management is certainly, well, the principles are the same. Right. You got to keep it fire safe. Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, we're quickly drawing to a close on this segment, Pat. If I could see one of those, again, for our viewers, we have accessible these pamphlets that will give you all the information that you need. Don't put your firewood on your deck. Don't put it under the deck. Keep trees away from your property. If a fire happens and the sparks come flying over to your property, it'll go up in cedar shakes on the top of your roof. You don't want that either. But you need to have a route out, and you have to know it, and you have to know it's safe. And if anything does happen, prepare early and leave early, because you don't want to be there too late, because you'll be too late. You want to protect your family, and let the family know where to meet up in case there is a disaster, so they can communicate with each other. We've got more information. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey, caregivers, did you know that respite time is your time? How will you spend it?
Respite is really perfect for things I like to do, but my son isn't interested in.
Vicki Henry, Manhattan.
Gardening isn't one of his favorite things, and he knows and likes his caregivers a lot, so it's a win-win. Or even something as simple as a bike ride becomes possible when I know that someone I trust is with him.
Montana Lifespan Respite. Respite for caregivers. It's okay to need it. It's okay to want it. It's okay to get it.
It's good for both of us.
I think the most pleasant surprise when we turned 65 and signed up for Medicare Part B was finding out about our Welcome to Medicare preventive visit.
It was free, and it gave us the opportunity to visit with our doctors and establish a plan for our health going forward.
They reviewed our medical history, measured our height, weight, blood pressure, and counseled us on other risk factors.
To learn more about Medicare's free or low-cost preventive and wellness benefits, call your local SHIP counselor at 800-551-3191. I mentioned it's free, right?
Twice.
I've been shooting since I was young. It's something I've always enjoyed. I wasn't feeling like myself, and my friend noticed. He asked if he could hold onto my guns temporarily. At first, I was a little shocked, but then I agreed. I think he saved my life that day.
Medicare loses $60 million in Montana each year, $60 billion nationally. Medicare processes 4.5 million claims a day. They don't know who your doctor is, but you do. Mistakes can happen. Read your Medicare statements and call Montana Senior Medicare Patrol if you see anything unexpected. 1-800-551-3191. This project is supported by a grant by the Administration for Community Living.
Welcome back to Aging Horizons, where we're talking about fire, we're talking about mitigation, we're talking about evacuation. In this segment, we'll be talking a lot about insurance. Insurance has been changing a lot, and you probably don't know that it's changing because of the fire, too. So fire is a big topic. Joining us is Pat McKelvey. You're with Fire Safe Montana, and Bob Bazuskiak. And you're Fire Safe Montana also, but you're retired from the Insurance Commissioner's Office. And Bob, let's start with you. Fire insurance. A lot of people aren't aware that there's changes going on. What are those changes? What do we need to be aware of?
Well, one other thing first is that I also work with the Independent Insurance Agents Association of Montana. So I work with the retail agents that sell this. So that's where a lot of the information flows into me. But what's happening, what's been trending for several years now, is that insurance rates are going up significantly. And it's not just a Montana problem. It's something that you might follow with the fires in Hawaii and Texas and California. So insurance companies need to be profitable to stay viable, and that's the reason you're seeing rates go up. The one thing that's really related to the fires is there's been an increasing trend on cancellations and non-renewals of policies because of wildfire scores.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, I guess people can't even get insurance. Why can't they get it? I mean, there's no one's willing to insure them, right?
In some cases, that's the case. There's, not to get too much into the weeds, but there's an admitted marketplace for most of the insurance companies, but then there's a surplus lines marketplace for the ones that can't really get insurance. And the risk that you have with that is sometimes those policies are not as rich in benefits. You might have higher deductibles, you might have less coverage, sublimits. So consumers have to be very cautious of what they're buying, not just the premium itself.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned they have to be conscious of what they're buying, and that comes down to talking to your insurance agent. Now, not all insurance policies, like fire insurance, isn't standardized everywhere, is it? It's unique to each company.
That's correct. Everything can be a little bit different, and it's changing too. So you might have a policy with a certain company, and there will be changes with that policy from year to year. Mm-hmm. So again, relying on the insurance professionals to, communicate those changes and be aware of that. Don't pay attention just to the premium. You have to look at the product and coverage and protection itself.
Mm-hmm. Now, a component of fire insurance is a fire score. What is the vulnerability of your property? How important is that, and why is it important?
Well, most companies, if not all companies now, are using wildfire scoring as a part of their underwriting assessments. Mm-hmm. And that's where they'll look at the individual property from aerial views, from different AI, different technologies, and they're all different. Companies will use different vendors, and they set out different models and algorithms to come up with this. So that's the other thing. It's just not a consistent, wildfire score. What's happened recently is there's been legislation that provides the right for homeowners to go to those insurance companies and say, explain what the wildfire score is and what led to it, and that also provides an opportunity for a property owner to, take the right mitigation steps. If they don't know why their property isn't, reasonably accepted, they should know that, and I feel strongly about that, and so does the insurance department. Commissioner Jim Brown and others have taken strong stances as far as the transparency and the right to know.
Now, Pat, Bob's pointing out the importance of mitigation, and it's kind of we think of save the house, but the mitigation will save us money on our insurance. What are some of the top points that
it certainly can, and it can maybe be the difference between having insurance or not as well. And so we look at the individual assessment on the property. And I want to say, by the way, that Bob's been a great addition to our Fire Safe Montana board. I mean, these are things that, well, you're talking to Rocky and I a lot. We don't know that industry. It's been really great to have him, and we have another member too from the insurance industry, and that's Scott Tuxbury. He's in Libby, located up in Libby, and so we can help even with answers that way. But it boils down to for me, to the mitigation work that they do, and then having that mitigation work recognized in an assessment, in an individual assessment. I've actually had people call and say they couldn't get insurance. Well, and this is affecting their ability to get a loan. This one gentleman called, and where I knew where that property was, it didn't seem to make sense that he couldn't get insurance. Well, this works both ways. When we got the actual location, not the address, that was a mailing address, the actual physical location, it was in a heavily timbered area, had done nothing in terms of mitigating that, nor the route in and out, which is also important. So it does work both ways. The fact is, it works. Well,
I think too, Pat, important is that you can contact individuals to find out what your mitigation score is, or they can do an assessment on your property. Now, we've fortunately drawn to a close on our third segment, but I'd encourage everybody to contact your local fire department or your DES people or your insurance agent. Talk to people about your coverage. Make sure you have what you want to have. Because I imagine the fire's coming, you call up the insurance guy, he's not going to say, no, we're not going to cover you right now. There'll probably be a waiting period. We have to be prepared, we have to mitigate, and we have to have evacuation routes. And that's all communication from your family to the fire department and understanding your environment. Thank you for joining us.
Special thanks to the Department of Public Health and Human Services for their continued support. Hosts on Aging Horizons are program specialists at the Montana Office on Aging. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions. For more information about Aging Horizons, call the Department of Public Health and Human Services toll-free at 800-332-2272.